What's up, guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our Week 9 Team Builder for the League of Extraordinary Trainers. This week we are taking on the team known as the Mountain View Murkrows, formerly the Berlin Beedrills, and before that the Berlin Bisharps, which was coached by Voltenzo. Now the Mountain View Murkrows, coached by Hayward, with their substitute coach Frost, who's my good buddy Frost, who we're playing in the UPBA this week too. Very complex situation, but essentially Voltenzo had to drop the league, and then Hayward picked up the team, and now Hayward is in India, so he can't play the games, so Frost is taking over. Yeah, so this will be fun. Let's run through the Mountain View Murkrows team. There's Zygarde 50%, Feraligatr, Gliscor, Magnezone, Alolan Marowak, Metagross, Crobat, Moltres, Cradily, Mega Pinsir, and Rapidash. Their Z captains for this side of the bracket are Zygarde 50% and Rapidash. This is the last week with these Z captains, so we will be choosing new Z captains for weeks 10 through 12 coming up soon. They have priority in Zygarde with Extreme Speed, Feraligatr with Aqua Jet, Metagross with Bullet Punch, and Mega Pinsir with Quick Attack. They have Hazard Setting in Gliscor with Stealth Rocks, Alolan Marowak with Stealth Rocks, Metagross with Stealth Rocks, and Cradily with Stealth Rocks. They have Hazard Removal in Gliscor with Defog, Crobat with Defog, and Moltres with Defog. Notable that there's no Rapid Spin on the team whatsoever, especially to a team that's so weak to rocks. They have 4x weaknesses in Zygarde to Ice, Gliscor to Ice, Magnezone to Ground, Moltres to Rock, and Mega Pinsir to Rock. Noting that they have 2 4x weaknesses to Ice and a 4x weakness to Ground. If you see on the screen here, we've got Mamoswine, so that'll be a thing. Yeah, so let's get into our team real quickly here. We are bringing Logan the Mamoswine, Choice Scarf, Thick Fat, Earthquake, Icicle Crash, Ice Shard, and Rock Slide. Again, 4x weaknesses to Ice and Ground, just abusing that as best as I can, and the 2 4x weaknesses to Rock. I'm covering all of those bases with this. That's the idea at least. 244 Jolly lets us outspeed Feraligatr at +1. Assuming they're running Dragon Dance Feraligatr, this would let us outspeed it. Dragon Dance doesn't typically run Aqua Jet. SD typically runs Aqua Jet, from what I remember, so that's a thing. Max attack and 12 in HP gives us a nice odd value of HP. Yeah, pretty standard Mamoswine. Next up is Trump Card. Whoops. Trump Card, our Nidoking. We're rocking Life Orb this week. Life Orb, Sheer Force, Ice Beam, Earth Power, Stealth Rock, and Rock Slide. Because of his weaknesses to Stealth Rocks, I wanted Stealth Rock on something, and Nidoking was my only way to do that, because I didn't want to put it on the Mamoswine. So we're running basically 2 special attacking moves for our specially attacking Pokemon, and Rocks. Ice Beam to cover those 4x weaknesses, and then Earth Power hits literally everything else on his team, except Moltres, which is what we have Rock Slide there for, to deal with that. I feel like Rock Slide is going to do more to the Mega Pinsir as well if we're on Mega Pinsir, so that could be a thing too. Max Special Attack, 204 Speed Timid, lets us outspeed Feraligatr, regular Feraligatr, yeah, and 52 in HP, so that's also a thing. I'm excited to be running Timid because I should have been running Timid last week against Eco, and I wasn't, unfortunately, but that's okay. Hopefully it'll change for this week, and Nidoking will be able to do some work still. Next up is Tangled, pretty much the MVP from our match against Eco. Coming back yet again, a Violet Regenerator, Hidden Power Ice, Giga Drain, Toxic, and Stun Spore. Hidden Power Ice is there to obviously hit the things weak to Ice. Tangle is obviously not a switch into things like Rapidash, Crobat, or Moltres in the first place, or even Mega Pinsir, to be completely honest. This does wall Zygarde 50% 100% of the time. It also walls the Gliscor really, really well. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but Giga Drain for some stab, it hits the Feraligatr. We can wall the Feraligatr with this too. This basically walls Feraligatr, Zygarde, and Gliscor, and then the rest of his team destroys it, as in Alolan Marowak, Moltres, Crobat, Rapidash, and Mega Pinsir. Stun Spore's there to get some paralysis off. If I can catch something on a switch, potentially get a para off, that might be nice. Slow down something like Crobat really well. Paralyze the Mega Pincer and cripple that thing would be really nice. And Toxic for things like the Credilli as well. I don't think he's bringing Credilli. Oh, I totally keep forgetting about this. I think he would bring Zygarde, Feraligatr, Gliscor, Alolan Marowak, Metagross, Crobat, and Mega Pincer. 6 of those 7. I think Moltres could do well, but I think it loses to things like Manaphy really easily, especially because it's not a Z user, so we can't like Z Solar Beam or anything like that, or Z Sunny Day even. I don't think Rapidash is a fantastic matchup, because I have 2 ground types to absorb the wild charge that it would hit the Manaphy with. And I don't think Credilli is very good, even though it's a reliable rock setter, and I don't think Magnezone is very good, because he has to run Air Balloon, and then at that point he's weak to my Fighting Stab and the rest of all that good stuff. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, we're running 244 in HP and 248 defense. 248 defense with Bold, that's the max we can do because of the Hidden Power Ice. So we can't have 31 EVs in that, or IVs in that, sorry, to actually get Hidden Power Ice. And then I wanted an odd value of HP, and I've popped the rest into special attacks so we can hit a little bit harder with our Giga Drain and HP Ice. Excuse me. Next up is Mienshao, Cheng, Choice Scarf Regenerator, U-Turn, Rock Slide, High Jump Kick, and Knockoff. Another Choice Scarf user. I felt like I needed a second Choice Scarf user to sort of outpace some of the faster things, because Mamoswine in itself is not very fast. It's a base 80 speed tier, the same as Dragonite actually. And so by scarfing Mamoswine, we're still not outspeeding things like Zygarde 50% at after a Dragon Dance, and we're not outspeeding things like Scarf Gliscor. I mean, obviously Scarf Gliscor is not the best set for it, but Scarf Gliscor is potentially a set there. Things like Scarf Moltres we're not outspeeding, and we're not speed tying with things like Scarf Rapidash. So in this case, this Mienshao is actually speed tying with Scarf Rapidash. We're abusing the 4x speedness for rock that we can. High Jump Kick hits his team really hard, except for Alolan Marowak. Crobat's obviously a really good switch into this thing, so we have Knockoff, and Rock Slide's obviously going to hit that thing really well. I can just U-turn out on it if it's switching in. Yeah, like Crobat literally cannot touch my Magearna in the first place, so that's sort of the thing there. Yeah, Jolly max speed, max attack. It's just pretty standard Mienshao, to be completely honest, for the most part. We're bringing a not-so-standard Manaphy this week. We're actually rocking Choice Specs Manaphy with Surf, Energy Ball, Ice Beam, and U-Turn. I couldn't think of a better move to put in that last slot, to be completely honest. Like, all of these moves hit his team well enough. The only thing I cannot touch is the Credilli. Choice Specs Surf is going to body his 2 Steel types. Energy Ball covers the Feraligatr, and Ice Beam covers the Crobat and the Mega Pincer. It'll also hit the Gliscor and the Zygarde better than Surf would, and yeah, U-Turn's just there for momentum, I guess, really. Like, I didn't really have another option. We're running Naive 220 speed, which lets us outpace Zygarde and Gliscor. Just enough speed to speed group his base 95s, since that's the next highest, and max special attack, 28 in HP to get an odd value, and then 8 in attack to get the most out of U-Turn that I can. U-Turn doesn't really do a whole ton to his team, but the little bit of chip that it is going to do is going to be helpful. I believe he's neutral or resists U-Turn on literally everything. Another reason why Selgor is not coming this week, because Selgor can't touch his team, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, last but not least is Magearna. We're bringing a funky Magearna set this week. I hope it can put in some work. We're not running Shift Gear or any speed for that matter. So we're running Shukaberry with Iron Defense, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and the Hidden Power Ground. Setting up the Iron Defense lets me take on, excuse me, excuse me, sorry about that. Lets me take on his physical attackers really well. I can take on things like Mega Pincer really well after an Iron Defense. I can take on Crobat all the time. I can take on Gliscor. I can take on things like Zygarde 50% after an Iron Defense. With an Iron Defense up, plus my Shukaberry, I'm taking 20% from a banded Zygarde's 1000 Arrows. That's literally no damage whatsoever, and I will destroy that thing with an Ice Beam. Thunderbolt is there to hit the other things that Ice Beam doesn't, and then Hidden Power Ground is there to hit the Magnezone, it's probably my best bet to hit the Metagross as well. And I would imagine that Ice Beam is actually just going to hit the Cradily harder, but um, that's, yeah, because ground is resisted by grass. So, yeah, it's, you know, it's there. 3 coverage moves. We're walking with a weird EV spread, but it's going to be kind of cool. 172 in HP because it was left over, I think. 200 in special attack lets Ice Beam kill the Zygarde 100% of the time. 124 defense with Bold was enough to take 1,000 Arrows down to 20% roll, and I just popped the rest into special defense to deal with potentially the Moltres a little bit better. Obviously, things like Moltres are just going to bot me with a Fire Blast, so I'm really hoping to not see Moltres, to be completely honest. That'd be really nice, is to not see Moltres. I'd also love to not see Alolan Marowak. The rest of his team I can deal with pretty well, but again, I was predicting Alolan Marowak to come. You know, if he brings like Zygarde, Feraligatr, Gliscor, Metagross, Crobat, Mega Pinsir, then I could be in an okay position, because Alolan Marowak threatens out this Magearna. Bone Meringue's not touching me, but Flare Blitz, Rockhead Flare Blitz can wreck me, despite the fact that I can get an Iron Defense up. So yeah, that's pretty much the team. Our win cons are potentially Magearna sweeping, Manaphy wall breaking, Nidoking wall breaking, and potentially like Mienshao or Mamoswine cleaning up later, and Tangela kind of walling the things that it needs to wall. Again, I really don't have a switch in to something like a Moltres, so I would essentially have to sack something off and then let Manaphy claim a kill, essentially. I didn't do any calcs, but we'll see how well a Choice Specs Manaphy does. It's not the best damage. It's not like Choice Band Victini damage because, excuse me, because V-Create is such a higher base power move than Surf is. Surf is only base 90 power, but it's the best thing I have to hit his team with. We're not running a Z move this week either. I don't know how bummed out I am about that, really. Like, I needed the Shuka Berry to live things with Magearna, otherwise Z Magearna would have been really cool. It doesn't really get ground coverage outside of it hidden power ground, though. But like Electrium Z sort of thing to predict like a Moltres switch in on my Ice Beam or something like that, I don't know. Could have been neat. So yeah, that's pretty much the team, and I will see you guys for our Week 9 match of the League of Extraordinary Trainers, taking on Coach Frostfire and the Mountain View Murkrows.